Yeah, 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 yeah. Yo, step right in, it's a funky display. Talking shit, today's the vibe we portray. No filters, no rules, just letting it flow. Strap in, folks, it's the shit show. Welcome to the shit show, buckle up tight. We dropping raw truth, keeping it light. Laughs and chaos, that's how we play. Talking shit today, all night, all day.
So, here we are, yet again, another episode Diaz
10, the Christmas episode.
Christmas, jingle your bells. Oh, wait, that's not right. How do we do that again? Jingle balls, jingle bells. Fuck it. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Moving on. Feliz Navidad.
Happy
Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, we're here for you. Bourbon transcends all of those things.
So, because you mentioned Feliz Navidad, actually, since my children were in elementary school, actually learned how to sing along with that song to the best of my abilities versus the parody that I sang most of my life, which is Police Stole My Car, right?
Know it.
So my little thought for sure that Spanish translated to Police Stole My Car.
Oh my God. What did you do, X?
I had to educate her that it correctly meant Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Are you serious?
100%.
You're fucking kidding me.
Absolutely not.
That's
because your children have such a faith in you. You have to be careful with what truths you tell them.
They're sponges.
And what untruths you say.
They're fucking sponges, bro. You say some shit, they're like...
Yeah. So I had to correct her and apologize and explain what a parody was. But it was one of the most hilarious moments of the last few weeks. So.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, as far as hilarity.
Oh, absolutely. So welcome to episode 10, Lumpy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And how have you been since we got together for 9?
Oh, kicking ass and taking names. Just trying to fight the good fight, end of year for us at work. So we're busy, as you know.
Sure.
I dread this time. I cherish the end of this time. And it's a stressful time. The holidays coming up. You got to make sure everybody's covered.
Sure.
Make sure everybody's happy.
Sure.
It's the gift giving season, and well, as I've said before, I love giving gifts.
So let me give you some gifts.
Oh yes, please. I like gifts.
Today, what do we get to go through? Well, we have a very special guest that we get to talk through, and a brand new bottle that we get to open that not a lot of people have had. So from a newish distillery out there called Fire Flask. So thrilled to be able to have this conversation. And then we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of a continuation over some topics that we've talked about before. I also thought it would be interesting to dive into the food topic and see what people thought about some of the most interesting, if that's the right word to use, side dishes that people like to bring, and they tout and they say Aunt Edna was the absolute best at this coleslaw, jello, green bean casserole, right? And their family raves about it. So we'll see about that.
WTF over.
And yes, I have found a very earnest Am I the Asshole that we need to go through.
Oh, I love Am I the Asshole?
So yes, you are. But as we established for myself last time.
Thanks, X.
You betcha.
Touche, motherfucker.
So, and then I thought it was appropriate given that it's the holiday season, however people celebrate. And we talked a lot about this last time, but for us, Christmas and Thanksgiving tend to have tradition, tend to have a lot of family, tend to have a lot of meaning to us. And so it's a hard time for a lot of people. And I thought we should explore that a little bit and just remind people what's important and how important they are.
They go hand in hand. I mean, they're very close together. And who the fuck put Thanksgiving and Christmas together? It's like at the end of the year.
Somebody that was hungry.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm hungry. I could eat some shit right now, but
So, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and tee up our conversation with Fire Flask.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Lumpy,
hey,
what
X.
do you have in your glass?
Well, at the moment, I am currently sipping on a Green River rye. It was given to me, actually just came this afternoon in the Secret Santa.
Well, let me tell you, I have something that you need to hurry up with that because I want to set us up to talk with somebody that I met in a very, very brief TikTok live as he was joining and talking about a little project that he has. This is Ryan Lewand from Fire and Flask Distillery.
Hey, Ryan.
And let me just tell you, I have one of the prettiest bottles I've ever held. So, Ryan, why don't you tell us what's in our glass?
Or about to be.
So, yeah, like you said, I'm the owner of Fire and Flask Distillery. We make the only production purple corn bourbon on the market. I love bourbon, and one of the things I love about it is how much you can mess with the grain, finish, all that kind of stuff, change the flavor around, still call it bourbon. So I wanted to start experimenting with some unique or rare grain, and we started with purple corn, and so far we love it. I think you're going to love it too once you crack that open.
Well, and I have to say, going with the purple corn, you certainly didn't start scraping the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, when it came to your choice of grains.
No,
So,
no.
and what I'm holding on here is in fact batch 6. So while we're going through this and I'm reading this very pretty label, what can you share with us about what's changed between 1 through 6?
So especially when working with something like this that, there's not a lot of information out there, we had to mess around with the mash bill, char level, all of that kind of stuff, and just really see what this purple corn does. The research that we did before we started showed that it was a little bit sweeter, a little bit fruitier, and we would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to find that right mash bill, that right recipe. So each batch was a little different. Our first batch, we started really high, 80% corn, 15% rye, and 5% malt. I like nice round numbers.
Me too.
It gets too confusing when you start getting into 87.2%
Oh, sure.
this. And we started with that. And then we made minor tweaks here and there. The second batch, we flopped the rye and the malt. So we did 5% rye, 15% malt. That actually made a fantastic winter whiskey that we want to bring back as an annual release as well.
Okay.
Just need to find the time to get a second product production going. Yeah, and then from the third batch, we made it a little more balanced. We were at 75% corn, 15% rye, 10% malt. Then we started messing with the char level after that. Batch 4, we did a char 4. Thought it was kind of, fitting. And finally, we settled on char 3. And it's the same mash bill that you have is our staple recipe. It's just char 3 instead of char 2.
Okay.
You have the last of the experimental batches there in front of you.
Ooh, I like that.
So actually, can you explain something to some non-distillers? Explain that char, what do you call it? Char 1, char 2, char 3, so I can understand that a little bit better.
Yeah, so basically, the legal term for bourbon, for it to be bourbon, is it has to be aged in a newly charred oak barrel, which is basically how long that they flame the barrel is the char level.
Okay.
I forget the scale exactly, but it's like they get it to a really high temperature and then like flash flame the inside of the barrel. I think a char 1 is like 15 seconds or something like that, and then it goes up to like 45 seconds, and then anything past that is getting into like custom stuff. For char 3, I believe it's around 35 seconds, something like that.
So they preheat the barrels?
No, they get a big hot flame going.
Oh, okay.
And like
and then hit it.
hit it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's actually a great I think it was How It's Made on Kelvin Cooperage, which is where we get our barrels from, that like shows you how they do everything and the way they char it and all that. But yeah, it's that inside of the barrel has to be charred, and that's what helps clean up the distillate when it goes in there and helps give interaction with the wood and everything.
Okay. I've seen that process sort of. I mean, I've seen it happen, I don't know how long, I don't remember how long it was, but that's a pretty interesting process with the giant, it's like the roofing blow torches they use.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How long have you been doing this?
We started in April of 2023.
Oh, so not that long.
No.
So, and you said this 6th batch here is the last of your experiments, and you had some other releases as well?
Yeah, we have what's called the Gaffer Collection. That's going to be a continuation in experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be our yearly limited edition release. Our first one we wound up using a rare grain called Amaranth. It's like a wheat hybrid, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's in the wheat family. And we did what is it? Let me get my notes here. It's a weird mash bill on this one.
Can you give that out? I mean, are
Oh
you
yeah,
giving?
we are 100% about transparency.
Okay.
Well, and if you
So
look at the
that's
back of
why
the
you
label
see
here,
on our
it's all
bottle.
written out.
Well, I haven't had the bottle in my hands yet. General's holding it on like a little baby.
It's going to be 63% corn, 23% 20% amaranth, 10% rye, and 7% malt.
Okay.
So 20% amaranth is going in there. That, like I said, we want it to be a yearly limited edition that, we'll do a different grain, a different
Mhm.
finish, something unique. Oh, I was going to say a lot of what inspired me was Woodford's Master Collection.
Mm.
They used to do a lot more experimental stuff. And one of my favorite bourbons of all time was their cherry wood smoked barley. And
That sounds great.
That sounds fantastic.
it was the most expensive bottle I had ever bought at the time because I was a big Woodford fan. I'm still a big Woodford fan. I shouldn't say was. And it was incredible. So that's a lot of what inspired me to do this and have a line every year where we do something different.
That's really cool. So, what got you from doing the work you were doing in the Navy and you said, I need to go and get a bunch of barrels and a bunch of money and all this headache and all this time so I can make this craft? What
Well,
got you
one,
into
you're
it?
assuming I have a bunch of money.
Yeah. Well, spending it for sure.
I'm spending money, yes. Where it's coming from, I have no idea. No, like I said, I've always been inspired by the more experimental stuff that you can do with bourbon. And I was like, there's so much out there, like different grains, different corns, whatever it may be. I was like, I want to see more of that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I wanted to just kind of putz around in my garage and do this
Mm-hmm.
myself
Here
and
it
just have
comes.
some fun with it. And my wife got all iffy about it being illegal.
Home projects are
Go
home
figure.
projects, man. It's like home
You
ec. Come
know,
on.
I have one of those
I
too.
tried explaining that. Like, no one's going to care. No one's going to know.
Sure.
She was like, no, it's illegal. It's not okay. I'm not comfortable with it. So if
It's
you're
okay
going to
if you're
do it,
making it for yourself.
That's right. And friends and
And
family.
yeah, as long as you're not trying to sell it,
yeah. So
which I'm sure
like
you explained to your wife.
I did. I wanted to get like a little 15-gallon still and fill up like maybe one barrel a year, a 5-gallon barrel. And she was like, nope, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it for real. So
I don't mind that though. That sounds great.
Sounds like she
yeah.
was on board at that point. I was like, don't threaten you with a good time, right?
Right, exactly. So then we started searching around at different distilleries and stuff because we do everything through contract right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We do not have a physical location ourselves, so we wound up meeting when we first moved. Yeah, when we first moved to Kentucky, we wound up meeting the owners of Second Sight Spirits, which is an awesome stop on the Distillery Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And just spent like a few hours talking with them. They were really nice. So then when the time came that we were like searching around, like, hey, is there anyone that'll let us do this like super small scale, just kind of get our feet wet, see how it goes? And they were like, yeah, we'll work with you. And the rest is kind of history from there.
That's outstanding. Well, and that's kind of the small craft approach, right? Is go where you can, get the support from the people that have more infrastructure and architecture for you, and then you get to experiment. You get to have a lot of fun with it. It's kind of like that guerrilla approach to the craft, which I love.
Pretty much.
You know, X
Pretty
and I
much.
have been talking a lot of shit about doing our own.
Yeah.
And because it's talking shit today. So eventually we're going to try to get there. And I think initially it's just, well, for sure, it's going to be just for our consumption,
Oh yeah.
and anything we can get from anybody else, as far as education, input, technique, that's always key.
Yeah, a big thing I like to say is, utilize the resources around you.
Mm-hmm.
We partner with 2 distilleries now, and I'm always listening to those guys, what they know. If they're like, maybe you don't want to cut it yet, like, all right, I'll see what you're, I'll see what you're saying. Listen to them. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Sure.
We've gotten a lot of great help, feedback, education from Neely Family Distillery and Second Sight Spirits. It's a lot easier to let someone else do all the research, and you
Sure.
Reap the
reap
benefits
that
of that.
benefit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
That's
like
awesome.
it's like taking a journeyman program,
Yeah.
right? You hope that your master of whatever the craft is has made all the mistakes that you can learn from, so that way you don't have to repeat them, and then you get to make your own. So
Is there a distillers
Exactly.
union?
Not that I know of. There's the KDA, the Kentucky Distillers Association,
Okay.
that runs the Bourbon Trail, but
sure.
I'm not even allowed to join that.
Oh really?
Well, what do you mean? Explain that a little bit. The
So
KDA.
basically, the KDA is, as I said, the Kentucky Distillers Association. That's what runs the Bourbon Trail. Like, if you come to Kentucky, you see those brown signs. They're
Okay.
the
I've
ones that
seen those.
make up the book that says, like, here's all the stops and everything.
Hmm.
They run all that. They're also very involved, obviously, with the politics around alcohol laws and everything, because that's a big tourist thing for Kentucky, is the Bourbon Trail.
I remember I was there on a Sunday and I was like, what was it? Is it 2 p.m.
Uh,
to
Well,
buy?
and that was right after the Kentucky Bourbon Festival too. You missed it by a weekend.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a lazy person. I'm probably asleep, so I never have an issue when I go to the liquor store to buy.
There you
But
go.
2 p.m. sounds right on a Sunday.
Actually, because I was the hotel I was at, the bar didn't open until 4 o'clock. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can find a place I can get a beer at least.
Yeah.
They said no, huh?
No, not. I thought it was 2 o'clock, but whatever. So
Liquor
anyway,
laws are weird.
well, oh, I know.
So
Depends on what state you're in.
I remember being in South Carolina, and they couldn't sell hard liquor after 7 p.m. in the liquor stores there, but the bars are still open.
nice.
Beer and wine only, huh?
Yep. But you can go
Okay.
to the bar. You can go to the bar and drink whatever you wanted.
Somebody lobbied the right people to make that
Yeah.
happen.
Those damn blue laws.
Right? Well, so let me ask you this. As a person who enjoys bourbon, who's making your own bourbon, what's your favorite bourbon outside of Kentucky?
Outside of Kentucky, I'd say stuff from Texas is pretty good. What was the one I had the other day? I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite outside of Kentucky, because I prefer Kentucky. Um, it's just, I've tried a lot of stuff from a lot of different states, and
Hmm.
we actually just did buddy of mine does all these bourbon tastings, and we did an around the country. And he had one Kentucky and then one from a bunch of other states, and the Kentucky one won by a landslide.
Interesting.
Um,
So I need to punch my card and show up at those places.
I tried a Still Austin down
Hmm.
when I was in Texas a few weeks ago, and that wasn't bad. That one was pretty good.
Outside of Kentucky, first of all, Kentucky bourbons are paramount. It's the home. It's where it originated, obviously, at least I think, based on what I know.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Now, we've got a bunch of distilleries here in Florida, which we have not sampled any of their product. We have one here. It's St. Augustine Distillery. I've had their
I'm
other products. You were going to say?
I've been there. I'm actually a fan of St.
Really?
Augustine Distillery, but not their bourbon. I am a big fan of their barrel aged gin.
I have not had their bourbon, and I was there. It's been, well, shit. It's been 6 years, and I'm not a gin fan.
I'm a casual gin fan.
I used to be a vodka guy, And I used to be a bit of a vodka snob. I hate to say that.
No, say it ain't so.
Oh, it's so. And their vodka was garbage.
Was it?
Very tannic, that dry taste after you hit it. It wasn't smooth.
So my biggest issue with them, with their bourbon, I tried their cask strength, and it. So have you ever gone to the Fountain of Youth there in St. Augustine?
I was just there 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago.
And you drink the water, and it's like super sulfurous.
I didn't drink the water.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't drink any water here in Florida.
No, he won't.
Fair enough. Well, I did, and it's like it's got a really sulfuric taste to it.
It's
And
because it's
that
shallow.
Yeah, and that's the same water that they're using in the bourbon, and that flavor very much comes out in the bourbon.
So here in Florida, you're allowed to dig a shallow well for irrigation. And obviously it's very hot here in the summer, just like it is in Kentucky, except
Mhm.
it's a little different to a degree. If you dig your own shallow well, you're going to get that sulfur because it's a lot of iron. So there's a ton of iron in that water. You see people's houses whose their sprinkler systems have like sprayed their house, sprayed their fence, and it's rusted.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sulfur in the water. Now you get those deep wells that are, 150, 250 down into the aquifer. That's the water that they need to use. And now if you're telling me they're using that and you're saying it's that sulfuric water, yeah, they're not doing the right thing. They're not doing themselves justice by using that.
Yeah, there's not one good thing I've heard. Well, I don't want to trash them, but
I haven't had their bourbon yet. So I would venture say I should.
yeah,
Well, we should try. We should definitely give them a try.
Sure. There's actually a handful of Florida distilleries that I want to give a try at, including one that is just up the road from one of our favorite little liquor stores we like to go to. It's called Sugar Mill Distillery, and they literally just make one barrel at a time. So they make they make a bunch of moonshine, some gins, and some other things. But when it comes to their bourbon, just one barrel at a time. So you get that batch, then they move on to the next one. So it's an interesting cycle.
I've been to a couple distilleries that are like that. They're all single barrel.
Okay.
There's one in North Carolina that I went to like that, and it was actually really fun because when you go to do like a tasting, they're like, "Well, what kind of bourbons do you like, or what's your favorite bourbon?" And then they're like, "Oh, okay, you'll like this batch." Like,
oh, there you go.
So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Well, and I think you said something pretty important. It's learn from people that are doing it. Use the resources around you. And that's the same thing when you're sitting around a table and you're just doing it at a bottle share. If someone's palate's different, they've had different experience with it and they can share with you, then they'll just say, "Hey, what do you like? Then let me try to pair you up with this." Matter of fact, we had that over at the thing we went to, a Slavy and whatnot.
Yeah, we went to a bottle share last weekend, so there was a lot of different variety to choose from there.
So, and we had a lot of people looking to us, with our basic palates.
Yeah, the basic bitches that we are,
Well, I think then we've spent a lot of time talking about what you've got. So would you like to introduce us to this specific bottle here?
Yeah, so you have our Didymium bourbon. We went with the name Didymium because it's a violet-colored glass that glass blowers use as a safety glass almost when they're working. And it just seemed fitting. It filters out certain wavelengths of light. We like to say that it kind of filters out the other bottles on the shelf, makes us stand out.
Good one.
So you have our 6th batch there. As I said, that was the last of our experimental batches. It is a mash bill of 78% corn, 15% rye, 7% malt. We did a char 2, see if we could bring out some of those sweeter, more vanilla notes from the barrel. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Well, if we'll take a second here, we're gonna pop this bad boy and see what it do.
By the way, I appreciate the packaging here. It's nice and easy to open with my fumbling fingers.
Oh, all over you.
Good pop. Good pop. Always love a good pop. Got to get the pour in there.
Thank
too.
you, sir.
So I went in on the nose right away, and it's hitting me with fruit spice right away. So
I can smell it before I even put my nose in it, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Now, my sinus cavity is total shit, so don't take my nose for how this whole bit works.
I don't know how many of you of the episodes of ours that you've heard, and I'm not comparing you to what I'm about to say. So we had a distiller in here, Three Witches Distillery, they're out of Tennessee, and they're doing a small batch, small barrels, just like you. And the nose that I got right away before I even stuck my nose into the Glen here was similar.
Actually,
That's the first thing I thought of. And they too, they're not using the corn that you're using, but they are using some exotic grains.
Mhm.
And I believe that theirs was about a year and a half aged, roughly.
Yeah.
So almost about the same time as yours. So, and don't get me wrong, that was really good. And I haven't even had a chance to taste this yet, but
Yeah, I can just say on the nose, the first thing that strikes me is that kind of spiced fruit.
I'm
That's what I
sitting here
keep
with
getting.
bated breath.
That is very pleasant.
for me, it's like raisins.
Okay.
I get raisins like,
Because I was thinking fig, which isn't
or
too
okay,
different. Yeah.
in that same family.
Yeah, I get
It's got a
fig
great
lot.
nose, Ryan. Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, it does.
I mean, I don't want to say it's sweet like a fig Newton because it doesn't actually smell sweet, but that fruitiness, it kind of slaps you a little bit and tickles and says hi.
Well, it's like any one of the dried fruits. It
Yeah.
almost has that fermented, because you start to dry out raisins, figs, etc. You get that smell, and that is terribly pleasing for me.
Yeah, and she's got some great legs too. So as I'm sitting here staring in the glass, it's a bit softer in the color. I've seen a handful that are super, super, super rich. This one is, for me, it's more of your typical bourbon, uh, rich amber, a little bit light.
Fantastic color.
But that's not saying anything bad about it. It's just it's fun to look at. I haven't gone in for a sip yet because that nose is just.
I had to. Ryan, this is amazing.
Thank you.
This really is amazing. Good job, sir. Good job.
Thank you very much.
I get a lot of that char. I like that char.
Mhm.
I like that. I get a lot of oak on it. I like the oak. This, to me, is almost, I don't know if this is a classification, but you've seen double oaked. It almost hits on that level.
Yeah, but the fruit spice that you get on the nose carries through on the palate too.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and it's sweeter on the palate. I'm getting most of my experience on the front instead of the back of the palate. Very light on the mouthfeel for me. Um, it hits as far as the spice right at where a 100 does. So that's spot on. Sometimes they're a little hot, sometimes they're a little light. This one's like right there in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, I absolutely enjoy the flavor of this. I think I read somewhere that you had the ambition that this would be a nightly sipper.
That's what we were going for with this product.
Yeah, I can
Very good,
absolutely
sir.
see this as a nightcap because
Oh, yeah.
it's very different in the aromatics. I don't think I have anything, Three Witches and you guys need to get together and see if there's any nieces and nephews you can make because this is very similar. I think you'd appreciate what they've got.
Ryan, are you familiar with Three Witches Distillery?
No, I can't say that I am.
Well, they're on TikTok. Look them up. And Whiskey Odin. Their bar, Ryan, their bar. How many bottles does he have?
I couldn't tell you how many bottles. He's got eight shelves.
It's several hundred.
Wow.
Yeah. So
look them up on TikTok just to see their bar. It's unreal.
Yeah. But let me just go back to this here. So for anybody that sat here and made their way through an entire one of our podcasts, first off, thank you. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. This is something that's provided an experience that I will absolutely treasure. One,
indeed,
being able to talk with the person who crafted this, share with you my very honest feedback, and tell you, I'm not blowing any smoke anywhere up anyone's keister at this point. This is really good. This is something that I wish I could find in Florida readily, and that I think people will be happy to grab off the shelf, especially at MSRP. So, and you told me before what the MSRP is, but do you mind reminding me?
Yeah, it's 85.
Okay.
That's worth it. So now, what is probably surprising about that for me is that the small barrel aging. And what size barrels are you using?
We use 5-gallon barrels currently.
Yeah, that rapidly accelerates the flavor profile. You can't get that. And this one on the back says it's 1.1 year.
Yep, 1 year, 1 month.
That's
Everyone is a little different. If we let
sure.
one sit a little longer, that kind of thing. But typically, yeah, 1 year, 1 month is about where we've been dumping. That seems to be the sweet spot for those 5-gallon barrels.
Well, and I can say that, I'm now into the third sip because usually, if you can compare the first and the second and one reinforces the other, or then to me, that's a really good one. If the second sip uh, starts falling off, then that means it's not quite as good. Like the first kind of shock to your system, that first exploration of that flavor once it hits you for the very first time, it might not open you up to everything that it has to offer. This is very consistent. I mean, I have to say that on the third sip, it tastes just about the same as it did on the first, even though my
Good.
palate's more ready for it. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but I can say that it's consistent and yummy. And I prefer my stuff neat, but I'm sure with water, I'm sure with ice, it'll change things up a bit.
I just put a splash of water in that.
Yeah,
Just
and
just a little splash, just to see what this thing would do. It just got better.
I was going to say, don't keep us in suspense, sir.
Sorry, I was just trying to get my brain to catch up with my tongue.
Not always the easiest thing to do.
Well, God only gave us enough blood to work with one head at a time. So,
So
Ryan, that's
Yeah,
a
we've been
fantastic
pretty happy
product.
with. Thank you. Yeah, we've been pretty happy with how it's been coming out, the feedback we've been getting. Um, it's been consistent, and we're really happy with it.
So, if someone was interested in buying a bottle that similar or exactly what we're drinking now, where can they find that?
Right now, we're only available in Kentucky. We're on shelves at all the Total Wines across Kentucky,
Okay,
and a store called the Party Source.
that was the
Um,
party store we talked about earlier.
yes,
It's like the
we're
mecca of alcohol.
hoping.
Sorry.
Basically, it really is. It's huge. We're hoping to expand. We are actually looking for investors right now that will allow us to make some larger batches.
Okay.
Because right now we've barely even scratched the surface of selling in Kentucky. We're only on 6 shelves, so we need to saturate Kentucky before we move to other states.
Okay. I agree.
well, I have to say that the fact that we had the opportunity to get connected to help out in any way, shape, or form, I'm very happy to be a part of that. So let me turn this over to you for some gratuitous plugs. You mentioned that you are trying to expand and through investment. You want to go ahead and share with us how you're trying to get that done?
Yeah, we're using a platform called WeFunder for crowdfunding. Um, we're looking to raise between $50 to $100,000. That basically would allow us to make at least one batch per month. Depending on how much we raise, we would be able to add a second product, as I was talking about before, that winter whiskey. We would be able to start adding that as a yearly release. And through WeFunder, basically, it's almost like Kickstarter. I don't know if you've ever done
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter,
Oh, sure.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's very similar. But instead of getting stuff, you're getting shares of our company that would hopefully grow in value as we grow, obviously. And there's some perks for the higher end investors, but for just anybody that does invest, they would get an email anytime we do a batch release. They would get priority over anybody that's not an investor. or owner. And then from there, it just goes up. Probably the coolest thing that we want to do, and this is granted that we get a physical distillery one day, but anyone that does, I believe it's $10,000 or more, we're doing like a distiller for a week that you would come with us, make a batch like for the whole week. You would take it from cooking the batch to fermentation to eventually filling the barrel. And then one of the barrels from that batch would be your barrel. And every year you can come and tap it and take a bottle home. And then when you call it, that would be your barrel. We'll bottle it and send it home with you.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably one of the
Okay.
coolest things that we're offering. Granted, that is when we get a physical location. We can't do that right now,
Sure.
just because that would be too much toe stepping for the people who make our stuff for us. But eventually, that is the goal.
Well, I absolutely love the idea of experiences like that.
Indeed.
So we talked about it before. We have, like I said, a couple distillers around here, and one of them actually sells an experience the same way. They do a whole distillery class. They help you pick out a mash bill, of course, with their heavy guidance, because maybe you don't know what you're doing like I don't. So
the basic bitches that we are.
Right.
It out there.
So, but then at the end of the experience, you're actually setting up your own barrel. So, and out of that, however many bottles that come from that yield. So it's very cool. I look forward to when you can do that, sir.
Me too. I mean, granted, we're trying to move towards larger barrels. We don't want to be in the smaller barrels forever, because we do eventually want to see what like a 10-year, age statement can taste like, that kind of thing. We are moving. We have 15-gallon barrels put away right now. That those will sit there for at least 2 years, including the Gaffer collection. That one's 2 years old as well, or will be 2 years old by the time we dump it, if not older. The Gaffer collection, that should be sometime, I want to say next year. I got to double check. I want to say it's sometime around May or June. But we may let it sit longer. We haven't fully decided yet. Darn, I don't have it written down here when we barreled that. I'll have to look on the actual barrel. Normally I write that down. I guess I forgot. Yep. Sorry. I got it here. I got a picture of it. May 31st.
Ryan, it was an absolute pleasure.
Indeed.
Is there anything that you'd want to tell the folks at home before we wrap up here with you today?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is give us craft distilleries a chance. You're going to see some young age statements. You may see a high price point, but that's because we're trying stuff that's never been done before. We're working with grain that isn't common. It's not cheap. So we're putting out products that are good, though. I put my name to my product, and I am proud of what we're selling. So, just make sure if you're looking around, something new to try, craft distilleries might be the way to go.
Well, we're proud of what you provided to us today. Fantastic product. Absolutely fantastic. For everyone out there who's hearing what we have to say, look these guys up. Fire and Flask Distillery. Fantastic pour. Absolutely amazing.
And when you raise all that money that you need to raise and you get out on everyone's shelf, we can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll find you here in Florida.
Hopefully. That's definitely on the top of the list.
Perfect. We'd love to hear that. We're trying to bring more great product here to Florida. So,
oh, absolutely. We get doinked too many times here. So we're in the dangler of the earth.
That's right.
So, Ryan, thank you again for being with us tonight. Again, fantastic product, and good luck and Godspeed, and we'll hopefully be there with you.
Yep. And thanks for joining Talking Shit today.
Thank you guys very much for having me.
Thanks, Ryan. All right. So let's talk about Am I an Asshole?
Am I the asshole?
Yes, you are.
Am I the asshole? We've done this now twice before. This will be the third. And I've always enjoyed these segments. Now,
I love it.
Not to be uninspired. I mean, I've seen these done by people who are explaining this and people reacting to it. So there's certainly an entertainment value to this. In doing some research, I found that there's actually a bourbon side to Am I the Asshole? And quite often names are changed in stories. So Kyle's been the asshole in a couple of our stories so far.
We hate Kyle.
In this one, I want to take you through a little more endearing conversation. So are you ready?
Sure. Let's unpack that.
All right. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Our person of question is 28 and they are a recovering alcoholic. If you've known anybody who's been an alcoholic, they will often say that they're always recovering, that they never stop recovering from alcoholism. So they work really diligently to stay away from it. Don't go in the environment, don't go around the people, make sure, because in their mind, if they have another drink, they're going to have 20. If they have 20, they're going to lose their job. Like it's a bad spiral to be in. So as much as we're very bourbon centered, I have a lot of respect for people that are going through that part of their life and doing well. So that's kind of the premise for this story here. So I am 28. I have been sober for a little over 3 years now. Congratulations to you.
Good job.
I used to have a serious problem with alcohol. I went to rehab and I'm doing really well since. I don't go to bars. I don't keep alcohol in the house, and my family knows all of this. Every Christmas Eve, my family gets together at my parents' place. This year, my sister and her husband, Ryan, quotes around Ryan, were coming too. Ryan's a big whiskey guy. I like Ryan. He loves different bottles, talks about them all the time, and it's kind of his thing. I think we can relate.
Indeed. Sure.
When I was Christmas shopping, I walked past a liquor store and thought, you know what? I'll bet Ryan would really appreciate a nice bottle. So I went in, told the guy I need a good mid-range whiskey for someone who actually knows what they're drinking. Appreciate that, considering our last conversation about the hazmat.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up buying a bottle that was nicer than anything I ever bought back when I was drinking. I had zero temptation to buy anything for myself. I walked in, bought his gift, and left. Fast forward to Christmas Eve. We're opening presents. Ryan opens mine, sees the bottle, and lights up. He thanks me and says it's a really great pick, that he's been wanting to try it. My sister immediately goes, wait, is that from you? I said, yes. And she just kind of paused and went, oh, in that weird kind of tone.
Like, oh, from you?
Right. I love that. All right. They told me that they wished I had run it by them first, or just gotten him something else, because now they're going to be worrying about me relapsing. I got frustrated and said, I'm a grown adult. I'm allowed to buy a present without asking permission, and that not everything involving alcohol means I'm about to fall off the wagon. Now, I'm back at home wondering if I messed up. From my point of view, I bought my brother-in-law a thoughtful gift. I didn't drink a drop. From my family's point of view, I walked into a liquor store alone, and that's a big red flag. So, am I the asshole for buying my brother-in-law a bottle of whiskey, even though I'm a recovering alcoholic?
I would say no. Good for you. That's awesome. It was thoughtful. And again, good for you for not buying a bottle for yourself at the same time. Who's the asshole? Maybe your family, but we don't know how bad your situation was prior to that. For them,
Sure.
Your alcoholism could have been an incredibly sore spot that could have put a dent into your family. And they're just like, oh my God, you, alcohol, bad,
Sure.
done, don't do it, doesn't matter, we don't care.
Sure.
Which is possible.
Well, and I've known people that have sat there and they celebrate their 5,000th day, their 7,000th day, right? They're counting daily their victory over alcoholism. So I understand where the family's coming from with that, but also the person who's recovered from it knows, or should know, what their temptations are, what their challenges are, and where it's going to be a problem.
Indeed.
I think that this person certainly is not the asshole.
No.
Especially as a person who would love to receive a wonderful gift of whiskey, bourbon, rye, single malt. Hey, hit me up. They were thoughtful. They really thought about a personable gift.
Sure.
And this was something that resonated with the person who received the gift. And the family is probably being a little overprotective. So are they the asshole? No. Is the family the asshole? Maybe.
We just don't know what they went through prior to that.
True, but the past is the past, and you have to learn to let that go.
Indeed.
So, and a big part of recovery for people is going to the people that you've trespassed against, talking about that, owning up to it, and asking for forgiveness so that way you can move forward.
So I would give props for the fact that she went in and got a bottle for a family member and walked out with just that
Yes.
and gave the bottle. Kind of weird if she brought like 3/4 of a bottle or half a bottle.
Well, that might be a bit of a red flag.
I know. Like,
Hey.
yeah, sorry, this bottle was really good. I couldn't do it, but here you go.
I know I'm a recovering alcoholic, but here is a wonderful bottle that I tried.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, motherfucker. You know.
So I think clearly they are not the asshole.
No. The family might be leaning towards the side of asshole. So
I would agree. So, Lumpy, I thought we could go into some side dishes.
oh yeah, let's go.
The reason I thought side dishes versus main dishes is, one, we already built an ideal menu. We talked about ham always being there for Christmas, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and we're going to be spending some time Christmas Eve.
Indeed.
So what's going to be on the menu? And maybe we can find some delicious side dishes that might not be so common to bring over. What do you think?
Well, don't bring anything with gelatin. Let's start with that.
Well, it's funny that you say that, sir, because the very first thing I see when I'm looking at retro side dishes, which, by the way, I don't have any staple side dishes that we normally bring to things other than like green bean casserole. We've been known for green bean casserole. I have brought jalapeno poppers and, riffs on bacon wrapped pickles and different things like that.
You can bring those.
Bacon wrapped pickles are the bomb, by the way.
Yep.
So, so now you're giving me a platform. All right. Bacon wrapped pickles that are hollowed out and stuffed the way you would take a jalapeno popper.
Yeah.
Dice the whole thing up, stuff it inside the pickle.
Yep.
Bacon wrap and smoke it.
All right.
Yeah. That is the bomb.
Okay, so I'll expect those.
You'll expect those. All right. Well, let me get to work in there. We got a Christmas party this weekend too that we got to be to. So, but we got signed up for the really difficult task of napkins and silverware. So I know, right? So here are some retro salads, since you mentioned Jell-O. Lime Jell-O with cottage cheese, pineapple, sometimes marshmallows or nuts molded into a ring and served as a quote, big quotes around this, salad next to ham and potatoes.
Okay, I'm down with the lime Jell-O. I actually
Okay.
like lime Jell-O.
Okay.
But when you put all that foreign shit in it,
Foreign shit. So which part, by the way?
cottage cheese and
Okay.
lime Jell-O, you lost me there.
Sure. Yep. And then nuts in the Jell-O doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Marshmallow to me gets you closer to the ambrosia,
Well,
which is
yeah.
freaking the bomb.
Yeah, and I'm okay with the pineapple. Pineapple lime Jell-O, good. Pineapple goes with everything.
Sure. And pizza?
Next. What are we talking about? I'm sorry. I blacked
will
out
eat-
for a second.
I will eat the Hawaiian pizza. I'm
That's
good with
okay.
that.
Yeah, it's all right.
So here's something called a marshmallow marguerite salad. Marshmallows, pineapples, maraschino cherries in a sweet creamy base plated right alongside the savory stuff instead of with dessert. All right. And then you recently corrected me on the enunciation of this, which if anyone has ever watched my social media feeds that didn't have anything to do with bourbon, it had to do with aspics. So for the uninitiated, would you like to care to share what an aspic is?
Well, I mean, aspic it's another flavor-ridden gelatinous creature. That's how that's the
Fair.
only way I can accurately describe it. There's tomato aspics, and
It's the savory gelatin.
you lost me at gelatin. I mean, like I said, I could get down on some lime Jell-O or gelatin.
It's the reason why you see a tuna fish mold
Oh my
on
God.
the wall of a thrift store.
Oh my God.
Because in the 50s, having the gelatin was a status symbol. And Betty Crocker and other places like that, Miracle Whip, believe it or not, would send housewives these recipes that would call for 2 jars of Miracle Whip.
Oh my God. First of all, what the fuck? Miracle Whip. First of all, it's called salad dressing.
By the jar.
It's called salad
the
dressing.
Measurement.
And first of all, who the fuck puts Miracle Whip on their salad? Just saying.
Oh, goodness.
Who puts Miracle Whip on their salad? All right. And people, all right, so here's a whole nother conversation.
Please.
You just mined.
Open it up. Open it up.
You dug the hole and it popped out. So here it is. Mayonnaise versus Miracle Whip.
Mayonnaise. Dukes.
Some people are just die hard Miracle Whip.
They were born in the Midwest. I guarantee you.
I don't give a fuck where they were born. Miracle Whip, there's nothing that shit is good on. Just like you with IPAs.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, okay.
You and Scotch?
Okay, that's where Miracle Whip.
And I think we can all agree matcha.
I just said Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip. That's where Miracle Whip lives. That's terrible, man.
It is.
And you know, all this stuff in the early 50s that came out or post World War II. What the hell happened? Were all these World War II veterans coming back and they were like shell shocked and like, it tastes good, man. Nothing. Hey, listen, I love our veterans. Thank you for your service.
They just got done eating 1950s MREs.
You know what? I get that. You know what? Anything probably tastes better than that. You know, for me, like that, what was that hazmat that I was like, I'd rather suck on a rabid gorilla's asshole than take another sip of that. That's me with Miracle Whip.
Well, let me just say this. So to our service people who have had to eat out of MREs, they've probably had a contest with others that I've also participated in, having gotten a hold of some MREs. And the peanut butter and crackers that come in an MRE are like the what's the best way I can say this? You've tarred a roof at some point in your life.
Okay.
That peanut butter is thicker.
Wow.
So you take that peanut butter and that cracker and you eat it as fast as you can with no liquid, nothing but cracker and peanut butter out of the MRE.
So, you know, it's
good
just
luck.
It's just protein. It's going to keep you alive. End of story.
You might not be able to breathe as you're making your way through. We'll just say that. So anywho, aspics. Yes, they are the savory gelatin. Like if you've ever seen a SpaghettiOs gelatin.
Oh God.
Or hot dogs with olives and peas. Like that's the kind of thing.
And a little more firm.
And a little more firm, sure. And also fishy. So tuna, egg, salmon, shrimp. Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm dying here.
And those are considered very reasonable side dishes for some of these things.
No fucking way. Not in my house.
So,
you show up with that shit, I'm going to throw it in the trash. I'm going to say thank you first and say not in this house.
So this one might resonate for you. So ham loaf, you're used to loafed meats.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. And I'm sure you can go on about scrapple for us.
Oh, liver loaf.
Liver loaf. Makes me shake a little bit. So ham loaf, baked in very sweet, sticky glaze, particular for parts of Pennsylvania and Ohio, as an alternative to ham on the bone. But this one's a little bit different.
It's almost like Spam.
Spaghetti with grape jelly in tomato sauce.
What the fuck is this? It's like Elf?
Served, I'm thinking it's for Elf, right? So Buddy definitely put this together. Served at Christmas as a regular side with jelly, just adding sweetness so it doesn't taste fruity, according to fans.
Depends on the jelly, I guess.
Grape jelly. So
whatever, man.
And I won't go into this. I will leave it just at the title, but frog eye salad.
What?
You know what? Surprise, motherfucker. We may just end up with some frog eye salad at Christmas Eve. So there you go.
Don't bring that to my house. Just saying. Nothing with gelatin, please.
I shall remember that. As we get through to the end of this episode, I think it's important that we spend a little bit of time following up on a topic we talked about last time.
Oh, yes.
So men's mental health is something that we should all care about.
Of course.
Men and women together really need to think about each other's mental health. And some of the stats that we went through last time that we got together, we talked about how infrequently it is that men actually take on the challenge of their own mental health, seek help, and how suicide rates amongst men tend to be higher because of the lack of friendship, the lack of connection, and the amount of trauma that they're going through that they do not deal with any sort of help, whether it's from the women in their lives or the other men in their lives. And so holidays, like we touched on around Thanksgiving, tend to be those areas of time where it becomes difficult for people, especially if they're not close to family, they don't have a lot of friends. Why don't you take me through some of your thoughts and how this important time of year for you has kind of helped you build up some friendships, and how you've connected with people and you've reached out to folks to help bring them in so that way they can feel like they're connected during the holidays.
Well, you and I, we have a connection as friends, and we've gone through a journey that we understand what a friendship is. We talked about in our last episode about your ride and die guy. We talked about having that one person who will judge you, but not judge you, if that makes sense.
Yep. Hold you accountable. Call you on your shit, but
thank you.
We'll still be there for you. Yep.
There you go. Thanks for the elaboration. The holidays are always rough for everybody, not just men. Men are supposed to be the strong ones. Mm-hmm. We're human. You're only as good as the day is long and the information provided. We all struggle as people. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that person, that one person, or two people, or five people, that support staff, we all need to have those people or that person. You need to be the one to say, hey, I'm struggling. Mm-hmm. I need help.
Sure.
Just listen to me. Mm-hmm. If you have that person who can say, you know what do you got, man?
Yep.
And I feel you and I, I'd like to think we are those people that we can bounce off each other and be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yep.
And you just need someone you can talk to. Anyway, if you're out there and you have some issues and you're struggling, things are hard right now, you're not alone. We always want to talk to the men out there specifically, but this is for everyone who has issues and you need to talk. Mm-hmm. We always want to throw out there the suicide hotline. Dial 988. Mm-hmm. You can call it. You can text it.
Yep. Chat with it online.
Indeed. There's someone for you out there. You're important. You matter. Let's be here for next year.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think that it's not just whether you're struggling with your own isolation or whatever demons are telling you things that are only in your head. We're not our thoughts. And I think that's a really important part, because when the thoughts are stronger than the way we're feeling about ourselves, it can feel really overwhelming. So I think it's super important that people get the opportunity to get out of their heads and connect with people. And even if you're with somebody, I think the concept of being alone in a crowd is a very, very real thing. And it's something that people ought to understand as normal, and that you should not feel like you are different, that you are wrong if you are sitting in a group of people and you feel like you're isolated and alone. What you should do with that is recognize that it's normal, that it's okay, and that you should reach out to people, because the alternative to not reaching out is bottling that shit up, is trying to deal with it yourself. And
please don't.
That can be very difficult at the very least. It can lie to you. Your voice is not always honest. Your voice is not always accurate inside your own head. And that's where I think that whiskey ride or die is super important.
Oh, yeah.
So men, and I am speaking to men. I know this is for all people. Like, I'm not trying to isolate women out there, but I will say men in particular, you have a harder time reaching out for help. it doesn't have to look like anything more than, hey, how you doing?
You're not weak.
So reach out, talk to somebody, anybody. Hell, call me. Reach out. We're here. But like Lumpy said, 988 is there for you. And just make sure that you're here because we want to talk to you again at New Year's.
Please. All right, folks. That's episode 10. We want to wish you Merry Christmas. Here's to warm homes, full hearts, and a little peace in the chaos.
And may your days be merry, your family be close, and your glass never be empty for long. Cheers, and we'll see you next time on Talking Shit Today.
Cheers.
Yo, the time is up, the mic's gone cold. We drop the talk real hot and bold. From Lumpy to General Lex, ain't no delay. Thanks for talking shit with us today. Hey yo, thanks for talking shit with Lumpy and X. Breaking it down till there's nothing complex. Riding the beat as we close the show. Catch you next time on the late night flow. Spin the dial, rewind the tape. We keep it real, this ain't no escape. Laughs and truth served raw, not sweet. Mic drop, Lumpy and X bring the heat. Hey yo, thanks for talking shit with Lumpy and X. Dropping truths and making you reflect. We out like a jammer, smooth and slow. See you next time where the convos glow. Words in the air as the beat fades out. Lumpy and X, that's what we're about. So keep it locked till the very last say. Thanks for talking shit, we out today.